In this webcast, I will show you how to create a workout using the Garmin Connect. I've logged into connect.garmin.com and I've pulled up one of the old workouts from a Wednesday night last year. So in this one, it was the 10,000 distance, and it has 3 different sets of intervals that we'll be doing. And I've also pulled up a pace chart because one thing I find if I'm doing a speed workout on my own, it's easier for me to have an actual target pace when I don't have the group to rely on running with. And when I'm coaching, I like to have a good target pace in just so I can set that specific mark for the group. So I'm in Garmin. I'm going to go to the training section and workouts, and you'll see a lot of workouts that we've done over quite a few of the different Wednesdays. So in this case, I'm just going to create a new running workout, and I'm just going to delete the middle step. Keep the warm-up and cool down. Now we do a 10-minute warm-up, but we don't actually necessarily do exactly 10 minutes. If we do less than 10 minutes, then it's easy enough to hit the lap key and move on to the next step. But if we go over 10 minutes, I don't want to have to pause and lose any of that duration. So when I do the warm-up, instead of doing time, I do lap button press. And then when we finish the warm-up, I typically will pause the workout while people get their drink, and I can scroll down through the options, go to the next lap, and be ready to start the intervals at that point. I do the same thing for the cool down, not knowing exactly how much of a cool down we get. If we're farther out than 10 minutes, we could end up going over. If we're feeling nice, maybe we'll do a 8-minute cool down and you'll get a break. So then I'm going to add a step, and in this case I want to do a repeat. And we can see set 1 here is 6 intervals at 2 minutes each at a 10K pace with a 1-minute jog. So I'm going to change the repeat to 6 times. I'm going to grab the drag and I'm going to move that up so you can see the cool down jump a little bit there. And that way it's in the proper order. And I'm going to keep it at run, and now I will do a time duration, and we will put in 6 minutes. And we've got a couple of options here. In this case it's a jog, so I'm going to keep it as recover. If we're doing more of a walk or just a stop and shake out between these sets, then I'll do a rest. And we'll keep that at 1 minute. And I also want to add more in this case to the run because I do want that intensity target, and I'm going to do it at pace. And the target for this group, I like to do about depending on the group, a 30-second to 1-minute range. And typically when I run it, I let Charisse do the fast portion, and I'll try to target somewhere in the middle of that range. The good thing is when I put in this target, 2 things will happen. 1, the watch will buzz me if I'm outside of that range, so if I'm going too slow or get too fast. The other thing it does is it will actually show a bar on the top of my watch display with a red section and a green section and a little triangle that shows where I am in that range, so it's very easy for me to glance at it and know that we're in target. If I look up here, 10K pace, so I'll go down here, say 9 to 9.5, and I'll just round that, not worrying about the extra few seconds. So between a 9 in a 9:30. And I'll show an example of what the watch does once I figure out a good way to actually record the watch face. And then I'm just going to go up here and add 2 more repeats. I'll just throw them both in. We'll move that down. I'm going to add a step because in between we have a rest of 2 to 3 minutes, and I'm going to do lap button press again, just giving that time that's needed for everyone to get a drink, not knowing exactly how long that's going to take. And I'm going to go ahead and add another rest in between those 2 intervals. Boom. So for the second one, it's 6 intervals again. And this time we're going to do a 1 minute rest in between. So I'll go ahead and put in the 1 minute. We'll put in the 1 minute time for the run portion, and I'll add the target pace, this time at a 5K, so I'm following in the same area. Looks like an 8:45 to a 9:15. And I'm getting the paces off the chart that was provided to us last year by Michelle, and I still use that when looking at what paces to select for the group based on their runs. Then we have a rest, and now the last one is actually 3 steps, but it's only done once. And since it's only done once, you cannot go to less than 1. So I'm going to delete the repeat I had initially put in, and I'm going to add 3 steps. All of them being run. And it looks like a 3, 2, 1, starting slower and increasing in pace as we go. So I'll just add 3 minutes here. Add our target. This looks like our 10K pace, so we'll do the 9 to 9:30. And we'll do a 2-minute section at our 5K pace. That was our 8:45 to 9:15. And then a 1 minute run. And this is the 1 mile or 1 minute hard. I'm going to come over here and go to our short interval pace. And put in a 750 to about 8:15, so I'll just change this to 8:15 so the group doesn't kill me, and we'll go with 7:45. And since it's only 1 minute, probably towards the end of that we'll just tell everybody to put what's left in, and we'll sprint to a finish. Once that's set, I can edit the workout. I'm going to name it whatever was given to us. And then I can save the workout. Oh, missed a duration. It lets me know, so I can say till the lap button is pressed. save the workout, and now you get some options. I can send it to the device, but that would be if I actually had my watch plugged into my computer, which I don't hardly ever do now because all of this is also available on the mobile app. So once I save it, it will actually be on the mobile app when I bring it up. And then from there, I'll tell it to send to the device, and then I'll just sync it up and be good to go. The other thing you can do is add notes. So occasionally I will add notes, and we can just add a note here, and I might say sprint at end, and that reminds me when I actually see the interval come up that we want to push everyone at that point. And now if I just go back a page, we'll come over here, go back to my workouts. We see right here the 10,000 distance has been added. And that's it. Okay, now I've switched to my phone so I can bring up my Garmin app. And now I'm going to go down to more, and we'll see training, and go to my workouts, and right at the top the 10,000 distance is there. So now I can bring the workout up. Up at the top you'll see a arrow with a phone. If I click on that, it'll send it to my phone. And I also have the option of scheduling a workout, so I can add it to the calendar. And say I program this in for tomorrow, I can do that. Click on done. When I do that, I also want to go to my calendar. So if I go back to screens, I can click on calendar, and again, there's the icon to sync that. Lets me know it'll send now, and I'm going to go back to my day. Go ahead and synchronize. And once that bar is done, that workout will be available at my watch, so it'll be ready to go. And there, all done. Now I have an advanced workout with some different intervals, partly using the lap key, partly lapping it for me as it needs to, so we can run the workout. Alright, so here you can see my watch. Go to my workout area. My middle button on this watch does the menu for that section. And if I go down to training, go to my workouts, we can see the 10,000 is there, so it had transferred. I can select it, I can do the workout. In this case, if I just do the view, I can show you that it is what we just programmed. And it shows my paces, the different steps. You can see that there's a note attached to this step, and everything is there. I can also go back here, and so go back one more. Under my workouts, you also see the training calendar. So if I click on that, we'll see that it did transfer, and it is all set for tomorrow. So what happens if I go to hit the run button tomorrow? It will actually pop up and say, do you want to do this workout since it's on my schedule? And all I have to do is say yes, tell it which run I want to use, and everything's good to go.